Welcome to today's video. I'm going to go over the POV in the brand new 2024 Toyota Tacoma. This one happens to be mine. I also have a 2018 Toyota Tacoma that I'm doing a lot of comparison videos, but this is my brand new 2024. It has 626 miles on it right now. It has the premium package, so that basically means it has everything with the exception of one option, which I didn't want to wait for because I would have had to waited like 6 months to get it, was the stabilizer sway bar disconnect thing. I wanted to get the premium package so I can show you guys a lot of the functionality and the features of this and show you some of the driving capabilities of it. So first things first, you have 3 different drive modes which you can select down here. So this is kind of the default setting right now. You go into this drive mode right here when you turn on the vehicle, and then you can just spin the dial here to select the different drive modes. So currently I'm in Eco, there is Normal, and then there's Sport mode, which is going to make it a little bit more responsive. So Eco is going to be more geared toward saving MPGs, of course. Normal is going to be a mix between sport and eco, just kind of your everyday driving, and then sport's going to make it a little bit more reactive, a little more peppy when you get on the gas. So I'm going to put it into normal mode just for now, just to show you some of the other features, and then I'll put it in sport mode, show you what that's like. So obviously we have this huge 14-inch infotainment display screen, and it is awesome. I love the way Toyota has redone their kind of infotainment system. So right now this portion right here is Apple CarPlay, and then over here you can access the Toyota system really easy. And if you didn't want to see the Toyota system, you can just push this button here and it's going to be all Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which was a nice feature. Now if you do want to get back to the Toyota stuff, you can hit that button here and you have all of this information here. So this top button here is going to be how you access Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and then you have these other options down here, so you can go into settings very quickly and you can customize other options with inside the truck, which is really nice because historically Toyota's infotainment systems have been pretty bad, but this is a lot simpler. You can access things very quickly. And so I really like that feature, but most people are going to use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is the way I have it set up right now. So the 4th gen Tacoma is a huge upgrade compared to the 3rd gen. There isn't anything that they didn't upgrade. The seating position is way more comfortable. I feel more upright. I have an 8-way power seat, adjustable seat, that I can control the seating position a lot better. I do feel a little more upright here than I did in my 3rd gen, and just the seats are way more comfortable. These are very soft. My 3rd gen has pretty hard seats, and so that's just the biggest thing that I noticed. The second thing is just the amount of torque in this thing, guys. So this has an inline 4-cylinder turbo, and it makes 317 foot-pounds of torque, which is a considerable amount of increase over the 3rd gen. You can customize the display here. Currently I have my tach over here with the boost gauge on the left, which is a cool feature, and on the right I have my speedo with the average MPGs, which is kind of like my daily driving setup that I like. And I think it's really cool that they gave us a turbo gauge because it's a lot of fun watching this thing spool up. This has an 8-speed automatic transmission, so this has given us 2 more gears than the previous gen. And the combination between the 4-cylinder turbo and this 8-speed is just, it is a great combination, because there is no more gear hunting, and it is just always, seems like it's always on the power whenever you want it. So some of the features here, this has dual climate control zones. It has heated seats for both passenger and driver. It has ventilated seats for both passenger and driver. It has heated steering wheel. There's a trailer brake controller hidden over here. Off to the left you have a bunch of different buttons. This button is going to control the height of the headlights. So if you're towing something and it kind of brings your front end up, you can actually adjust the headlights to go down. Here, this is going to adjust the brightness of your display. It's auto high beams here, traction control off here. Also the power outlet over here. You can also drop the tailgate. And then they give you 3 auxiliary buttons over here if you want to wire up some additional lights anywhere else, which is really cool that they already integrated the buttons into here. So this is, and keep in mind this is the premium package, so some of this might not be included in every package, but I'm just showing you all the features that this comes with. So we also have a sunroof, moonroof. I don't know what the difference is, but we have that. You can control it here. We also have a button for the rear window. It also comes with a digital rear view mirror, and to be honest, it's taking a little bit to get used to. You can switch it back to a normal mirror, but I'm leaving it at the digital one just because I want to try and get used to it. You can customize it a little bit in terms of what the view is. So there's different options here. You can twist it side to side, you can move it up and down. I found that just keeping everything in the middle setting is really just the best. But it does give you a wide view, a very wide view of everything, which is nice. So I mentioned this is kind of my everyday display, and you can actually choose between 3 different pages here. So you can use this button and scroll between different setups. So page 2 I've kind of set up as my towing page, so you can see I have different information about my trailer. And then if you scroll over, I would consider this my off-roading page. So there's different things here like the pitch and the roll, and then my 4-wheel drive traction over here, display over here. So that's kind of cool that they've given us that ability to switch between pages really easy. And then my first page is just my everyday driving, PSI, and MPGs. Okay, we just merged onto the freeway, and I want to show you the dynamic radar cruise control, which has a really cool feature. So in the 3rd gen it had dynamic radar cruise control, but this takes it to the next level. It's going to actually center you within the lane. So to activate the dynamic radar cruise control, you push this button here, and then you also push this button here, and it's going to bring up these 2 images here. So you have the dynamic radar cruise control, and then you have the lane centering. So what the lane centering is going to do is it's actually going to keep you in the middle of the lane, as well as keep you at the distance of the car in front of you. So I have my speed set at 71 right now, and it's keeping me at 71. But if this car in front of me slows down, it'll also slow down the truck, which is a really cool feature. And not only that, it's going to center me within the lane. So I can take my hands off the wheel and it'll let me do it for about 10 seconds, but then it's going to scream at me to put my hands back on the wheel. But it will actually drive for you. So all you really got to do is just keep your hand on the wheel, and I've noticed that you really have to kind of grip it firmly or it's going to yell at you. But it's really cool because you can just be cruising along. You just need to have your hand here, and it's going to do a lot of the work for you. So I'm going to take my hand off here, and you can watch it turn this corner. Now, obviously I don't recommend it, neither does Toyota. It says put your hand back on there, and it'll start to yell at you if you don't. So you can just have one hand on it. You don't need 2 hands. You can just leave one hand on there and it won't scream at you. So here's another turn. You can see my hands are off the wheel. Oh, that car moved and it showed there. Now it's going to speed up to 80 because that car has moved, and that's the way I have it set. So it's a really nice feature. I will say that it's not 100% perfect in determining where you should be going. So for example, if we come up to an off-ramp here and the lines start to veer off, it will start to take you that way versus just keeping you straight. So you can see I have it set at 80, but it's keeping me at 74 because of the car in front of me. And you can set the distance between the cars in front of you. You can just push this button here and it will either shorten your distance or increase it based on pushing this button here. And now we have 4 different settings versus in the 3rd gen they only gave us 3 different settings, so that's nice that they've increased the distance here a little bit for us. So there is just normal cruise control. If you want to do that, you can push this here. It'll say adaptive cruise control or normal cruise control, so I keep it at adaptive cruise control because it works really well. And my biggest complaint with using the adaptive cruise control in the 3rd gen was that it was hunting gears even more. It was like high revving, shifting, I mean it was like all over the place. In this 4th gen it does not do that. So what's really nice is that you're stuck and go traffic like I am right here, it will actually stop for you. So it'll let you go all the way down to 0 and it will stop, which is really nice. You can keep this on in stop and go traffic. And then when the car in front of you starts to move, it will also move. So this is a great feature, and I would say out of the Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, this is kind of like the crown jewel, the creme de la creme of what you're getting in Toyota Safety Sense. So other features inside the cab here is now the wireless charging is kind of horizontal up and down like this. In the 3rd gen it was flat, you had to reach your hand in. This is way more accessible, and I found that it charges. It actually does charge it. You could set it there kind of haphazardly and it'll charge it. I think the 3rd gen you had to get it just right for it to get perfect, and seemed like it never really charged. So I actually never even used that feature. But here I'm finding that it's really nice because we have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto that are wireless. So it syncs up, throw your phone there, you get all your notifications on Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and your phone's charging, which is really nice. Another feature this comes with, because as the premium package, is the JBL audio system. My 3rd gen also had the JBL system. There's still stuff left to be desired. It comes with a subwoofer. It's decent. So it sounds like a lot of the music is coming from the dash. It's a weird sensation. It's not coming from the door panels. It sounds like they're, you know, talking at you from the dash, which is a weird sensation. It definitely wasn't like that in my 3rd gen. But it's what I expected. I knew it wasn't going to blow me away, but it is definitely an upgrade. Oh, check out that little thing. Dang. That thing is sweet. I need to buy that. Lots of Tundras and Tacomas over there. Alright, anyway. So sport mode's keeping the RPMs quite a bit higher. And in some cases, you can actually hear the turbo spool up, which is really cool. If you have the radio off, you can hear the turbo spool up. Yeah, guys, this thing will move. I mean, I put 50,000 miles on my 3rd gen, so I know what I'm talking about when I'm comparing the two. So keep that in mind when I say it's quite a bit faster and feels so much better. I'm comparing it to my 3rd gen. This thing makes peak torque around 1500, 1700 RPM. And so when you put your foot down, I mean, you already got the torque. And it just moves. Like getting up to 80, 90 is like nothing now. So I put my foot down about a quarter of the way there and it just moves. I love the torque in this thing. I can't tell you how much better it is. So another cool thing you can do is you can put it into S, so I guess that's another sport mode. And here you can actually select the different gears that you want, and it'll show you here. So you can see here it'll say S7, and that's not normally there. And then you can either downshift or upshift, and you can select different gears that way. So you can see I'm in 5 now, and I got the RPMs pretty high here. So you can select between the different gears if you wanted to. You have that option. Now there is a tow haul mode that we get now in the 4th gen, which we never had in the 3rd gen. And with that tow haul mode, I don't see why you would really want to select individual gears. I haven't towed with it yet, so we'll see how this tow haul mode does, but I'm hoping that this is really gonna pick the best gear for you versus having to go into it manually and selecting your own gears to keep it in gear. So I'm really hoping to try out this tow haul mode and show you guys what that can do, and hopefully it's enough and does the job. I'll do a full term MPG test, but you can see now, right now I'm getting 19.5 miles per gallon, which is pretty good. In my 3rd gen, I was getting around 18 miles per gallon. Keep in mind, I did have a little bit bigger tires, and they were E-rated, so they're gonna be a little bit heavier. So I was consistently always getting around 18, and here I'm getting about 19.5. I bet I can get better. I have been a little heavy on the foot just because it's been so fun to drive. So I would expect around 20, 21 maybe. It's kind of what I'm hoping to get. Then you can customize the different displays over here. So we have MPG over here. You can have display nothing. You got your coolant temps, trailer, roll and pitch, tire pressure, your trip B, trip A, drive info, audio. You can put a compass over there. You can put the adaptive cruise mode over there. So it's really cool. It gives us a lot of different information we can customize. And then you can do the same thing over here. There's a little bit different information over here. So I like to keep it on the boost gauge, but you have temps, again, trailer, the traction control, the audio, the compass, another eco gauge, or nothing. And so it's really cool. You can switch between those and kind of display what information you like. So taking a look down here, this is really cool feature, guys. This has a camera view button, so if you push this, it'll show you the back of the bed. So if you have, you know, dirt bikes or camping gear, whatever, you can push that and it'll show you exactly what the bed shows, which is awesome. And if you push it again, you can have another option down here to select the tailgate. So if you wanted to see your hitch, you can just quickly see there and see if make sure everything's all right. So I'm really glad Toyota put that in there. This button here is trailer backup assist. So if you have a trailer on the back, you push this button and it's going to help you back up the trailer straight. So in terms of build quality, guys, there's nothing that's really sticking out to me that, you know, is kind of shoddy build quality. Everything feels really tight so far. There's nothing that seems to rattle to me. I know that some other people have pointed this out, that there's kind of a gap here and that you can push this up. There is tension on this though, so this doesn't rattle when you hit bumps. I mean, you got to push this thing up quite a bit to get it to hit. So that hasn't annoyed me at all, but I know somebody else has pointed that out. Another cool feature down here is this hold button. So if you push this, it's going to put a hold button up there. There's a green hold button, and because my foot's on the brake, it's also going to have this orange hold button. And when both those are on, you can actually take your foot off the brake and it's gonna hold you here, which is really cool. So like if you're in a drive-through or whatever, or you need to grab something in the back, you can just take your foot off and it'll hold you here. And then when you want to go, all you got to do is push the gas and you're off. And you can see the orange button down there went away, and we only have the green hold button. So I love that feature. My only complaint is that it restarts every time you get in the truck. So I wish it would just be left on, where you could just turn it on and every time you got in it would be there, but it's just something you have to turn on every time. So this is a good example. I've been up this hill 100 times in my 3rd gen, and right when I get about halfway, like right here, it would just downshift because it needed more power. And I don't need that here. The turbo's making enough boost. I'm at 2,000 RPMs going up an incline. I mean, it's just awesome. So that's a little bit about sport mode. We'll go into eco mode here. And I actually have been driving it mostly in eco mode, maybe like the last couple 100 miles, because I'm trying to see what kind of MPGs I can get. And the great thing that I'm noticing about eco mode is that, you know, when you're light on the throttle, it's going to keep the RPMs low. It's really going to try to conserve gas. But when you step on the gas as well and you want a little more power, it knows that and it's going to deliver it. So that's really nice. I'm glad that they did that, because, you know, sometimes when you're driving around, you can't always be in eco mode. Sometimes you do need to pass somebody quickly and you do want the power there, and it is there. You just got to put your foot down a little bit harder than maybe in normal or sport mode. So there you have it, guys. I love making this video. It's fun driving this thing around. Please like, subscribe. Let me know if you want to see any other type of content related to this truck or my 3rd gen, or any kind of comparisons, because I have both trucks at my disposal. I'm gonna hold on to my 3rd gen for a little bit before I sell it. I just want to make some good content for you guys. So please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.